When people talk about the places they visited, they usually focus on the people or the food or the culture, but they really talk about the creatures that live in those countries, you know, the animals. But listen to this Japanese guy talking about why he loves the UK.
These days, I notice like in UK has a lot of wild animal. For example, in Japan, it's a little place not exist like fox and also squirrels. Yeah, we don't have those animals, so when I find them, it's really feeling happy. Yeah, we can't see in Japan, so that's really cool. Yeah, and also, yeah, I love animals, so yeah, that's really good point, isn't it? I think it's normal for British people, but for me, it's really special. So yeah, it's just Japanese person's like opinion.
Wow. We take our squirrels for granted because they're everywhere, right? In London, you see squirrels every day. And they're so cute. I love squirrels. It's true, they're adorable. But yeah, you just take them for granted when you live here. But every country you go, you notice certain types of wildlife that you don't see elsewhere. Like, I bet a lot of people who've never lived in the UK think that foxes are something that we just get in the woods, right? But no, they're urban creatures, right? I mean, even right in the heart of central London where I live, we have foxes roaming the city streets at night. It's not just even in the suburbs, although out in the suburbs you have even more. But they make such a terrible racket, don't they? When they scream and howl in the middle of the night. I remember when I moved back to the UK after living in Canada, I remember being awoken in the middle of the night by the sound of foxes screaming outside. And I thought it was like, it sounded like something from Blair Witch Project. It was blood curdling. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, we have loads of foxes and squirrels, but also ducks, right? Ducks. And like whole families of ducklings. Isn't it so adorable when you see an entire family of ducks swimming together in a pond? But I don't know, are ducks common all over the world? I don't know, it's not something that I've really paid attention to. But when I lived in Vancouver, Canada, we saw raccoons all the time and skunks. Oh my God, that was so terrifying when you run into a skunk. You don't want to get sprayed by a skunk. And, well, bears, obviously. I was at, was it Whistler? Or was it Cyprus? I can't remember. A ski resort. And I was going up the chairlift. And, you know, when you get to the top, and you get off the chair, you have to ski down, so you have no choice, right? And just before I reached the top, a bear crossed my path. And when I'm in southern Spain, it's the lizards I notice. And I love them, they're so cute, aren't they? But if you go to the Canaries, the Canary Islands, you've got the giant lizards. And I must admit, the first time I saw one of those, it kind of scared me a bit. I just got a fright because it was so big, right? But then once you get used to the idea of their size, then they're not scary anymore, right? And they're cute. But as a kid, I was terrified of lizards. When we lived in Taiwan, we had lizards in our apartment and they terrified me because I classed them as creepy crawlies. The way they ran, it was like the equivalent of a cockroach. Except we didn't have cockroaches because where you have lizards, you don't have cockroaches apparently because the lizards eat the cockroaches. So that just makes me love them even more because I hate cockroaches. I'm such a shitty Asian. I'm so anglicized. I'm permanently stuck here in the UK because I can't handle cockroaches. And you can't live in Asia if you can't handle cockroaches, can you? However, the most terrifying thing to ever scurry across my floor was, again, when I lived in Taiwan. When I was about 4, we occasionally had giant tarantulas running across the floor. I'm talking those hairy black and orange things with the huge body. And they were so chunky. You could hear the footsteps when it was running across the wooden floor. That's how heavy it was. I lost it whenever we saw one of those. I jump up on the sofa screaming and crying, and just the sight of my dad chasing it around with a slipper was horrifying too. But thank God he was there to deal with it, because I don't know what I would have done if I was on my own, because I wouldn't have dared kill it either. And I don't think I would want to kill it. When creatures are too, like when they're above a certain size, you can't splat them, can you? Nowadays, I don't even want to kill little insects. I just want to catch them and then release them out into the wild. That's what I do nowadays. Any type of insect in my home, I try and catch it and then let it out, right? But yeah, a tarantula, I couldn't. I want some kind of like wildlife rescuer to come over to my place and catch it and release it. That's the only solution, isn't it? Could you kill a tarantula with a slipper? Just because you're scared of it doesn't mean it doesn't have a right to life, right? It's more scared of you than you are of it, right? So it's trying to get away. So why chase it and kill it? Just let it get away. But the thing is, right, unless you're sure that it's dead, it's lurking somewhere in your home. I wouldn't be able to go to sleep, right? How can you go to sleep when that thing is in your home? Unless you know it's gone. So yeah, I don't know what I would have done if I was on my own. But thank God my dad was there to deal with it every time. But yeah, that's where I fail as a man. Like, I make a very good man. I am very courageous and honorable, but creepy crawlies, I just can't handle. I don't mind household like spiders, like the kind we get in the UK. They're fine. And beetles are fine because they're slow moving. I can just about handle centipedes, but cockroaches, no. So I cannot live in Asia. I'm permanently stuck here in the UK. I don't mind mice though. I think mice are adorable. I mean, I don't want to share my house with them either, but if I had to, I would choose mice any day over cockroaches. God, I have no idea how anyone can live in Australia. Those giant grey, what are they called? Those big grey spiders that look just like that thing in Alien. If one of those was in my house, I'd run out of the house and I wouldn't be able to go back in. I'd have to check into a hotel and book my flight out of the country forever.